Okay.
That's a little smaller.
So there's only one compound up there where I would expect you not to have to be able to name the compound.
That's the one on the right.
No.
There's one on the left top. That one's pretty strange.
Left bottom. Okay?
Why do you have two lines?
It's a double bond.
Correct. When you say,
No, like the cart. See the middle carbon? Okay, go down. So you have two lines in between that carbon and bottom carbon. He said it's all one carbon.
okay? So the reason I say I don't expect you to be able to name that bottom left compound, it's one of the various organic families we talked about last week. See, a smart guy would do that, and that's what you did. Okay? It's not, it is an ester. I thought you said ether. That is an ester. Okay? All right? So, again, this compound, we don't need you to, when you take organic as a senior level class, then you start naming this. The difference between what you do at this level and what you do at the next level is you're responsible for more derivatives, and it's also the reaction mechanisms that accompany these organic compounds. Okay, because this is we would talk about how you specifically make something like this, and you draw out the proper mechanism for doing that. That's one of the bigger differences between, again, this level and next. So yes, this is an ester, lower left-hand corner. Okay. Oh, probably 2 more. We need some review yet as well for preparing for the final that you take in here. You know, I haven't figured, well, let me backtrack. Okay, just, I'll get to it here in just, this is why we can't get anything done. Okay? Because, and I'm also a firm believer that the habits that you have at this level are the same habits that's going to follow you in technical school, college, your job, which some of you are just going to be farmers, right? Does that sound right? I hope we don't run our farm this way, okay? Well, Did you say spray? Yeah. You're right. Nope, that's not quite right. See, sometimes I think you bring up a good point. You don't like talking about this because if it's of no interest or value or it doesn't affect you. Okay? So when yeah, that's true. But let's try to be the smartest person in the room, right?
It shows on the
Okay. Say that again?
2,4-D.
That's correct. How did you know that?
Well, one time I was making some in my house.
Yeah, probably not. So some of the things that we can talk about here, but this is, no offense, way above and beyond what you'd be needed to know. But yes, this is the molecule of 2,4-D. That's right. And something that, of course, would affect you agricultural farmers.
Yeah, they have that drawn on the box.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's possible.
Just thought
Okay. So, all right. So, some things, yeah, hopefully we take interest in that. All right. This is probably more difficult than what you think because it's not that it's a trick question, but yes, it kind of is because sometimes you think that you're following the rules, which you should, okay? Just like what we've been working on and naming these compounds, what is the first thing that we should do? Longest parent chain. And that's what makes this difficult. Okay? Because when we look at this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the longest continuous chain. But there's a problem with that. But, okay, so it's one thing to say that you can't do that, which is correct, but why would you know you can't do that? No. I mean,
It's against the rules.
no. No. Because if you do this zigzag here, how do you know where that's located? Because this is your organic family. Okay? So this takes priority over everything else. So when we see this, what are we referring to? What type of organic family? No. Nope. Nope. It's an acid. Okay? So when we look at that, we know that this has to be an acid. So what carbon number for acid, for being an acid? No, there's your 5, not 6. So then it's pentanoic acid. I'm trying to make sure I look at the clock for you ladies. I know 5 more minutes, correct?
I got you on the convention.
Okay. So then, if this is our pentanoic acid, which is correct, what is it that we have down here?
That's a propane.
That's propane.
No. No. Isopropyl. Okay? So you can see isopropyl written in this fashion. Okay? That's not the only way it could be written. Another one that's probably more common is this. That means what you had on there before, and these mean the exact same thing. It just means that there's a hydrogen atom down here. That takes care of that. Then there's a methyl group on each side. So that's why it's an isopropyl group. Now, that's important because what happens if you have a methyl group here? Who comes first? Why are you correct? Okay, so then this is isopropyl. We don't go by the P, even though this is a prefix. Okay, it's when you get something like this, okay, you disregard that prefix, and then there's your alphabetical term. Isopropyl, the letter I, is an exception to that. Okay. So, no. 2 isopropyl pentanoic acid. Okay? It always takes more space or room than what you think. Okay?
How do you know it's isopropyl again?
Okay? So let's look at what we had before this. Okay? What was on either side of this carbon here? Those are 2 methyl groups on there. But it's a linear 3-carbon derivative. That's correct. But the structure is different. It was C3H7. Then it's not isopropyl. It's propyl group. It's a propyl group. That's correct. Okay? So Oh, I guess we have it. There we go, isopropyl. It's because, again, next year, see, you have to know 4 alkyl derivatives. You already know what they are, methyl, ethyl, propyl, and isopropyl. Then for seniors, then you add on the butyl, secondary butyl, tertiary butyl, and isobutyl. Then you add 4 more to that. Okay, so then, building upon prior knowledge, just like what you had seen, I had no idea that 2,4-D had the molecular structure on the case or the box or the bottle, whatever you had referred to. But for our purposes, we just continually like to build upon some of this prior knowledge. So what you had learned as a freshman, what organic compound is this? Just that only. Say that again? No. No. I'll tell you, and then you're going to say, I knew that. Feels like we're playing hangman here.
Can you draw it?
See? We knew it would come back to you. Benzene. If it's this only, it's benzene. Okay? Then,
Did you know that Ben's middle name is actually Zine?
I did not know that. So building upon that knowledge, which you learned 2 years ago, and for those of you just joining us this year, okay, that's how and why we build upon these things. That's where your lab partners are there to help you out. Okay, so where is number 1 located here? Okay, so then let's leave this up here. We know it's benzene. Okay, and then where are those derivatives located?
1 and 3.
Okay, so then we've got 1, 3 dash dimethyl benzene. There's a shortcut that we could take, but we're not quite ready for that yet. That's more so of a senior level application. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to pass that along to you. Now, papers here, handout, they're due on Wednesday. Be right back. I'm telling you content that you already know. Working on these together is fine, but you're responsible for this on your own. Okay? My spidey sense tells me that sometimes that gets us into a little bit of trouble. Okay? Yes, ma'am. So, with that in mind, okay, we will hand this out, okay, and give you some opportunities to work on this. So, is that busted? The freshman dropped it, the stapler.
Yeah, it broke.
Oh, good. Okay. So, is there any questions on anything that we have talked about in here?
No, not quite.
We're good?
Can you write another acid up there?
Sure.
Outside my
Question was, could we put another acid on there? We certainly can. Okay, so that's how you would start that. You said this is correct. Close.
It'd be 3, wouldn't it?
Okay, now, it's easy to make that mistake.
3 met.
Okay?
Turn the horn on.
Because when we look at this, how do we know that this is X marks the spot is 3 instead of 2?
You gotta start at the acid part.
Because this is your organic family. That's why it's so important to know those. This is 1, 2, there's number 3, and then there's your methyl group. All right?
Yep.
Front row, are we good? Now, we're just making this presumption that it's good for everybody else that has departed for their softball destination. Second row.
Where is their softball destination?
Gayville.
Where's that
Sure it's not Ballin?
I bet they're not straight there.
Okay, third row.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
Third row.
I take it that's what you do at the auction. Yeah, I want those 10 head of steers. No, I don't want those 10 head of steers. Yeah, I want those 10 head of steers. No, I don't want those 10 head of steers. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry, right? You're not just saying that, are you? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right.
Can I go to the men's room, Mr. McKinney?
Yes, sir. So,
Can I go get a drink?
yes, sir. Okay, so we'll
Because I said it was 2 methyl instead of 3 methyl.
catch up to you next time.